Hey guys, it's me, Vinny. I'm back with another video. I debated with myself whether or not I should just hold off for tomorrow for my predictions, or if I should just get it all in one go and just release every single video for tonight because the playoffs start tomorrow. And I decided, you know what? I'll do it. I'm going to release the other 4 videos tonight and for my playoff predictions for the wild card round for the 2022 season for the NFL. And, you know, I did the Saturday games with the Niners and Seahawks and the Jaguars and Chargers. So I'm going to go and start with do the Sunday games right now, starting with the 1 o'clock game on CBS. I don't know if it's going to be on Nickelodeon as well, with the AFC East winning Buffalo Bills, who finished 13 and 3. Again, it has 16 games because the 17th game against the Bengals was canceled because of Damar Hamlin, against the 9 and 8 Miami Dolphins, who finished second in the AFC East. So this is the second time in the playoffs out of 3 matchups that are division against division matchups. And also, just like every other game in the wild card round, these are matchups that that are rematches from the regular season. So you look at the Buffalo Bills. They are a team that I saw winning the Super Bowl before the season began over the Rams. And obviously the Rams did not make the playoffs, let alone get that far. But the Bills did show expectations. And honestly, I do think the Bengals would have won that game against the Bills, and they probably would have been the 3 seed, and they would have been against the Ravens. But nevertheless, here they are, the Buffalo Bills, as the number 2 seed in the AFC, hosting the division rival, the Miami Dolphins. Josh Allen had a good first half of the season. He was a bit shaky in the second half. Their defense was really good. Matt Milano had an all-pro caliber season. Stephon Diggs, their wide receiver, had another really good season for them. Sean McDermott, still one of the best coaches in the NFL. It's one of the best run organizations in the NFL. Brandon Beane, one of the best general managers. It's one of the best top flight organizations in the AFC, period. And on the other side of the ball, you have the Miami Dolphins, who had the epitome of a roller coaster season. They win 3 games, they lose 3 games. They win 5 games, they lose 5 games. They win their final game of the season, 11-6. Neither team scores a touchdown against the New York Jets, who are starting Joe Flacco. And, you know, the opposite will more than likely happen this week. Now, why is that the case? Well, their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, had a really good 2022 season. Granted, he missed time due to injuries, most notably very serious concussions, and it's led to some people wondering whether or not he should play ever again. And he's not playing for the rest of the season now. We've had Teddy Bridgewater start a couple games. We have now Skylar Thompson starting a couple games. In fact, he's going to be starting this game for the Dolphins against the Bills. This almost gives me flashbacks to 2016 when Ryan Tannehill got hurt. He tore his ACL, and you had Matt Moore finish the rest of the season and start the wild card game against the Steelers, where they got blown out. And not really much to say here for the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill had an unbelievable season, arguably Offensive Player of the Year caliber. Jalen Waddle, the number 2 wide receiver, he also had a great season. Tua, before he got hurt, was an MVP candidate, and he actually led all players in votes for the Pro Bowl, but for some reason was not selected, which boggles my mind in more ways than one. But nevertheless, the Dolphins limped their way into the playoffs. They lost 5 straight before barely getting a win against the Jets. Honestly, I feel like if you would have the Steelers here, who were red hot before the season ended, finishing 9 and 8, they would pose a much better threat against the Bills, even though they got blown out earlier in the season. Christ, the Patriots even. If all those teams lost, including the Patriots, they all won 8-9, the Patriots would have the tiebreaker over all of them, and that would be back-to-back weeks against the Bills, who, similar to the next matchup I'm going to get to shortly. But I just look at this and I say, you know what? The Bills have been one of the best teams in the NFL all season, whereas the Dolphins, up and down, literally up and down this entire year. And it's obvious. I'm taking the Bills in this game. And I know the spread is minus 13.5. I don't care. I'm taking the Bills all the way here. The Bills are motivated, especially with Damar Hamlin coming out of the hospital. They're a near-death experience. They're going to rally for their guy. The Bills are one of the Super Bowl favorites. Dolphins have been mediocre all season. They finally made the playoffs, but it's going to end just as shortly as it began. I see the Bills crushing the Dolphins. I think I'm turning them into sushi. 13.5 points. But at least with the Seahawks, this reminds me a lot of the Niners-Seahawks game in terms of it's a divisional matchup, a 2 seed versus a 7 seed. And, you know, one could argue that the team that missed the playoffs, like the Steelers or the Lions, probably would be a much more affordable, minimal matchup against them. But at least with the Seahawks, they didn't have as many expectations in a rebuild year, and you still look up positive. But now with the Dolphins, you had a solid start for Mike McDaniel, but you still have a lot of question marks, especially with Tua's health. And if Tua has to be out for a longer time, what do you do? Do you go for Jimmy Garoppolo? Do you go for Derek Carr? Do you try to get Tom Brady? Like, who knows? Like, this Dolphin season is going to let with many questions, and that's going to start with their season ending against the Bills on Sunday afternoon. No way I see the Dolphins winning this. I see the Bills crushing them, plain and simple. But that's just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you think the Dolphins have any chance in this game? Do you think I'm being too harsh on them? Do you think I'm overselling the Bills? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Peace out.